There we go. All right. Sir Greg, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Man, spring break, one of the many perks of being a teacher, 2 weeks off. I'm in my second week, so got a few Night Rider things done, a few other projects done around. So it's cold in Indiana. It's 40 degrees today.
Oh,
And I
yeah,
think it's
spring
getting
break.
I think it's getting colder as the night went on.
Oh, geez. Yeah, spring break in Florida when you work in the automotive industry is a whole different nightmare. I've got a slew of college kids coming in going, I've got a flat tire or my car broke down. That's all I've heard for the past 2 weeks.
Oh man. I should have just came down and worked with you.
Oh, God, could use all the help. It's been nonstop.
It's I could have wrote it up as professional development and got a couple of hours so I don't for my license. I mean, shit, I probably should have. Um,
God, it would have been easy money.
I probably wouldn't even charge you. The state would technically pay me for it. So, but
Awesome.
but okay. So this today we're going to talk about a couple things here. We're going to talk about the dashboards, specifically, very much in the dashboard. So I want to start with your original dashboard in the car that you sold,
Okay,
because that is those parts are technically no longer made anymore, correct?
correct.
Okay.
Long gone.
And that was who made those parts?
So the dash itself was I call it OG Lewis L. It was like some of the first generation stuff that hit the market. I believe Jupiter Electronics did the original dash. And when you look at it versus what it was before or what it is now, it's not even close to accurate. It's like it was literally just flashy lights that weren't in the right place. It was just, I mean, you might as well have put in just an electronic dash in and been just as close.
Because I remember you saying, and I've chuckled about it a couple times. You're like, if there's just flashing lights in the dash, people are like, "Oh, that's Night Rider."
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, it was dead on. It's perfect. It looks exactly like it because nobody remembered it back then. I mean,
yeah,
it hadn't came out in DVD, and nobody had probably seen the show in years, so nobody remembered.
and I think part of that boils down to the fact that the functionality, the season one, and after talking to Michael Chaffee, which so those who don't know, Michael Chaffee is the original creator of Kit. He designed the dashboard mostly, and he had some input on the nose. But the dashboard was his main stuff. That's correct, right?
The dashboard, the nose was his after
Okay.
John Ward.
Okay. After the prototype, the not the prototype, the pilot episode, which you can catch glimpses of that original nose in the pilot episode of Knight Rider. It
Yep,
didn't have that big nose.
you can actually catch it through the majority of the series. They continue to use that same footage all 4 seasons.
Yeah. So, but Michael designed the dashboard, and he said the first dashboard he didn't have a lot of comments about it. It was a lot of lights and a lot of information, but it wasn't really. I don't know. It wasn't a super functional dashboard.
No,
As far as realistically goes, like in universe.
right.
Um, Now he did say I was talking to him out in the hallway. I got an opportunity to talk to Michael for about 2 hours, an hour and a half or so, while other people were in the during Southern Nights of Atlanta, and we talked very briefly about Knight Rider. We talked about other stuff more, but he said that the season 4 dash was a much more realistic dash.
Right.
Because this it started at the center with Kit's voice box. That was the most important information, and then from there the information got less and less important as it went out, like a fighter jet. And that's his some inspiration was fighter planes. The most important information is your heads up display, and then the information from there goes out.
Right.
So in universe, I don't think a lot of people realized how the dashboard was even functional, how it would be functional till some of the people started redesigning it. Like ZA Electronics did an amazing job redesigning this stuff.
Yeah.
And their previous season 4 dash, was it functional? Like how functional was it? Do you know?
Well, this is actually ZA's first season 4 dash.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
ZA didn't do anything other than season 1, 2. Now the big players in season 4 were ID Gianali and I know Jupiter Electronics had a 4th season dash, and Don Colley did a 4th season dash, and I think Mark Scrivani did a 4th season.
Was Mark Shadowy, was that Mark's Custom Kits?
Yes.
Okay.
And the majority of these dashes that I ever played with and tinkered with were very limited on functionality. Like, I don't believe most of them even had like working gas gauges. They were just displays that were there to blink and look pretty.
I remember someone telling me that it was not uncommon to see a broken down kit car because it ran out of gas.
Yeah, because they had no way of knowing.
No gas gauges on the cars,
Yep.
which ZA has definitely fixed that. So I have a Knight's or Knight Designs dashboard by Matthew. I have all his fiberglass. So all of his fiberglass. And he is using your ZA electronics, unless I'm mistaken, to do some slight redesigns to his dash.
Yep.
Okay. So I got his dash before the ZA redesign. And what I did, what I had my students do actually, is I cut the hole for the voice box. Everything else goes in the dashboard. Great. There's mounting places in the ZA electronics for the screws. There's lips in the back of the dashboard for those screws to go into. It's a pretty easy. I used a little bit of hot glue, but I got some screws, and I'm going to do some more mounting, some more fiberglassing for whatever. But he did a really nice job on it. But what I did is I had my if you will, about an eighth of an inch thick or so, or couple 16ths thick, so that I had something to cut around on the dashboard other than using the actual voice box.
Yeah.
And I used that as a template, and I cut around that, and I cut the part out. I did have to do some shaving on the sides of the voice box. I'll show you these pictures of what I did, but had to do some shaving on that to get it to flush up in there. If you look real close, there are some gaps from where the students didn't quite fill everything perfectly. They did a hell of a job, better than I'd ever do. So I'm not mad at them. But they did it. The kid did an amazing job, and the paint we used was an amazing paint. It's hot rod satin black. It's just amazing. It looks so good. But that's how I did it. So I made a square, a template, and then I gave him that same template. I said, okay, I need this to flush into that dashboard as best you can. And that's how I flushed in the dash. So it worked out pretty well. The countdown timer, Matthew said, was a little tricky because I sent him my countdown timer, and I got the plastic one, season 4 accurate from KRW. And he did have to just do some sanding on it, but nothing major, he said. But he did have to do a little work on that to get that to fit in there. Everything else fit in fine. And he also gave me the frame for the 8-inch monitor, which I just went ahead and bought one from Temu for $40.
Nice.
And it's great. I mean, it's HDMI, USB. It has a little control panel of 4-button controls. I just glued under the dash. It's one of those things that the ones from KRW are $300. The Temu one seemed to work great, and it's $40. Like, I'll give it a shot and see how it works.
Could hurt.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm out $40. So I'm not that worried about it. So, have you decided what fiberglass you're going with? Well, obviously you're going with Knight Design.
Yeah, I'm going with Matthews just simply because well, not simply because we worked that out, but I mean, everyone that has ever dealt with his fiberglass has said, hands down, he originally it was Billy Gunter's molds, and Gunter was known for, probably the most accurate stuff on the planet.
Okay.
And then as far as Matthew's abilities with fiberglass have been, you can't touch.
He knocks it out of the park. I think he does it for a living. He works for the city, and he does some fiberglass for the city for a living. Stuff anyway. So like his stuff is, I mean, the nose I was blown away by. The nose is so freaking good. And I took it to school the other day. He sent me my lower console. And he had someone remill the metal insert that sits on, and it fit. Oh my God, it fits in there so good. I have a TikTok. If you follow my TikToks, I have a TikTok on. He put it in there. It's so nice. It's so good. Like, it's just, yeah. And I figured out what I'm gonna do about my lower console array since no one's making the lights currently. I just bought a bunch of LEDs, blinking and non-blinking, and I'm just going to wire them all up. So it won't be anything special in there, but it'll have a little bit of emotion to it, if you will. It won't be as good as yours.
Well, I mean, considering that the original one had static lights that didn't do anything, we all assumed back in those days that they were buttons and they were nothing. So yours at least will blink and be better than screen use.
I don't know what they even were supposed to be.
I always assumed they were buttons. And
well, I mean, what was the function in universe for those? I assumed they were buttons too, but I don't know what they're for. Like, what in universe function those buttons have.
I don't know that I ever saw an episode where he actually went up there and pressed those. I don't know if they were even pressable buttons.
I don't think I did. In season 1, 2, that center console had the decoder pad, the space pad as they call it, and he did use some of those other buttons. I saw him use those other buttons. In fact, Devin used those buttons to turn and activate Kit originally.
Activate it like this.
Yes. He's reaching down, pushing buttons in the center console. But I'll get into that whole episode. What bugs me about that episode some other time. As far as have you heard of other people? Well, I know at Southern Nights, who used what? Do you know?
So, I mean, honestly, everybody has really gotten on board with Ricardo's dash.
His has cool, right?
His is what?
His has air vents in it. Is that?
Yes, has air vents and lower covers. For me, that was the one thing that was really, kind of pushed me towards Ricardo before me and Matthew got to talking, was those lower covers. When you have those lower covers, it covers up all the old Pontiac dash, and it just makes it look like it was meant for the car.
Gotcha. I'm actually experimenting with making some of those lower covers myself, because I wanted a place to hide buttons, on-off buttons, and some of the monitor buttons, and the dashboard has buttons. I wanted a place to hide some of those buttons, but easily accessible. So I was making a piece that goes under the monitor, because that's just a boatload of room behind there, because originally designed for the CRT, monitor or whatever. So with the LEDs, So I'm experimenting. I'm not very good at fiberglass. I'm not gonna sit here and say I am, because I don't like it. I don't. It sucks. So most people do for Ricardo's, because a lot of, especially people with working air conditioning, from what I understand.
Right. Well, and here's my thing with those air vents. I mean, they're great as far as the way they look and this, that, and the other, but you got to remember, an air conditioner vent will only do so much if you don't have ductwork running to that vent. It's not like you're going to put this dash on here and because the vents are there, suddenly air is going to come out of those vents. It's not.
Yeah.
If you don't have if you can't make some kind of ductwork, it's just for show.
Yeah. To me, it takes away. Those vents take away from I don't know. If I'm going to be driving this car around, I'm going to have the windows down, the T-tops out. I'm going to be driving it, on nice days anyway. It's not that I care about rain or, oh no, it's rainy. It's nothing to do with that. It's just the fact that it's like when I had a convertible. I had working air conditioning and all that. If it was raining, I didn't drive that car. Who cares? If I can put the top down, I don't want to drive it. No desire. And I feel the same way about this car. If I can't put the windows down and take the T-tops out, I have no desire to want to drive it. I don't want to do it, because part of the fun, I think, is showing the car off. And if that stuff's out, then it's just easier to do it that way. So I feel that's how I kind of feel about it anyway. So my car has air conditioning. I don't think it works. In fact, I think it's still R12. Which the school has. We have R12. Believe it or not, we still have 12. Yeah, I know, right? So I can still recharge it with R12. For those of you who don't know, R12 is Freon. It's very, very bad for the environment. And cars converted in the early 90s, late 80s, started converting to R134A, which is halogen. It is not Freon. So when you go to the dealership and they say, my car's low, you say, well, your car's low on Freon, the guy's looking at you like you're an idiot, because we haven't used Freon since the 90s. And now we've switched to YF1234, and that is propane.
And expensive.
Very expensive propane is what that stuff is. It's a very long word. I can't pronounce it, but it ends with propane. So that's the Recaro. And who does KRW sell? They sell, whose dashboard do they sell?
So I believe they make their own.
Okay.
Yep.
Have you had any experience with those?
I've personally not. I know that there's a few people out there that have. There's I can't even remember his name, Epic something. But yeah, I know a few people that have used it. Um, I know that talking to Alessandro, he kind of that's who he designs his stuff to fit. So
Yeah.
uh, I mean, I've not had any dealings with him, but I assume that everything that Alessandro makes fits perfectly with the KRW fiberglass because that's who he's designing it for.
Okay. Okay. And that makes sense. I mean, so those are your heavy hitters anyway. Recaro, Matthew, and KRW. Those are your heavy hitters. And of course, Knights of Kentucky, um, he sells Recaros and KRWs, I think.
Yep.
And he's working on a deal for Knight Designs to have a full completed dash
Yep.
through ZA and Matthew of Knight Designs. So
Yep.
whichever way you want to go, I guess, however it is. So that's kind of the dashboard. Because we're both season fours.
Yep.
In season one dash, I don't have it really any experience with.
I have a little. I mean, it's kind of the same people. The electronics, you got Jupiter Electronics, you've got ZA. From what I've been talking to Nine Industries of Kentucky, the idea Generali stuff is going to be hard to get a hold of because the owner is going through some health problems and not hasn't made anything in a while.
Yeah.
But I keep forgetting there's also Knights of England that does a fourth generation dash, but the colors are a little wonky with it. I've seen a few things. They've got a lot like blue LEDs in there that just I don't know. It's a pretty dash, but it's a little funky. You'd have to check it out.
Blue.
Yeah, it's random blue LEDs here and there.
Okay.
It's unique color, but you just don't see it. I mean, it's different. But yeah, as far as
do you remember who Michael used? Oh no, he
who's
made his own. No, not no, our friend Michael with the Balasar
Bakari.
Bakari. I always butcher his last name. He actually made his own.
Yeah. Well, Bakari, anytime he wants something, he closes his eyes and it just tends to manifest. I don't understand it.
That guy, eventually he's gonna be 3D printing whole cars. I mean,
I'm sure. I mean, it's like, one day we were talking about, man, I would like to have the door handle LEDs, and the next day he's like, check this out.
Yeah, I know. He made the door handle and I want those so bad, but I'm looking at stuff right now. I'm just like, okay, I gotta get because I still have a few more door seals and some things I have to buy, and I'm like, I gotta make sure I have all the parts to finish my car.
Yeah.
Before I go down the road with some of the other stuff, and I mean, I really want it because I feel like the gas pedal is like a really big thing that I really, really want.
It's
I just
awesome.
don't have the cash for it right now, and
it is. His gas pedal is just ridiculous. It's awesome.
it is so good. It's so perfect. I mean, just the level of detail. We need to get him on here one day too.
Yeah.
But
I mean, just the functionality of the thing, and all the customizable features that it has. It's just it's incredible.
it's phenomenal. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to put one in my Cadillac.
I know. I mean, he's got the ones that are multicolored, so it's not just Night Rider. Hey, you want to?
I know. I was thinking, it's like I was like, I really want to put one in my caddy, but so that's kind of the dashboards. Definitely, I think we would tell anybody that's going to do this, decide what you want, talk to us, talk to people who have got the parts, who have used the parts, who have built the cars, right? And of course, with all that being said, we have to move into a little more of a negative subject in this hobby, which is the bad actors.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there are a number of them out there, and I've had my experiences with bad actors costed me $8,000, court hearings, the whole nine. I'll never recuperate. I don't believe I'll ever recuperate that money. I'm hoping that someday his conscience will come to play and I will recuperate something. But there's a lot of bad actors out there. I think we both know 2 or 3 people that's been screwed over in this.
Yeah.
So I guess first and foremost, what would you say? What would be your best advice for someone who's going to start this?
Just ask questions. You've got several people out there that have got completed cars. You've got Night Industries of Kentucky that is a really good, you know, really good resource to just ask everything. But man, don't hesitate to ask people, because
Mhm.
I mean, people that spend thousands of dollars building these cars, I promise you, they'll talk about it.
Yeah,
Don't hesitate.
absolutely. I got 15 into mine, and it's almost I'm starting to refer to it as my Lego set, uh,
Yeah.
because as soon as my car gets painted, which again I'm a teacher, so I'm waiting for my students to paint my car, which they take a long time, and whatever, and that's fine. But they do a hell of a good job. They painted some of my parts already, and so in the meantime, my goal is once the car is painted, I'm gonna just be able to start assembling my car, to just do a final assembly for my car. It'll be like a TV show almost. Um, but I got enough money in my car where I have parts in hand. So I can tell you who has delivered to me, who has not delivered to me, of companies and obviously the companies that we talk about, they've delivered to us.
Yeah.
I've ordered from KRW, I've ordered from Jupiter Electronics, I've ordered from Knight Designs, Matthew, I've ordered from Knights of Kentucky. So I've ordered from these people and I have gotten all my parts. And a few other smaller players here and there that I've got. So when I first started, I ordered. So I can tell you who I've gotten parts from and the quality of those parts. And so far, I'm not been disappointed by any of those parts that I've gotten, not a single one of them. So I'm very excited, very happy about that. So definitely reach out to someone in the community. I think I know I'm always available to talk, and I'm sure you are, and
Absolutely.
because what we don't want is for people to fall into some of the traps that I've fallen into. I know Michael has fallen into, some of the other people that we've talked to, and some of the other people that we've caught in time that we have. I'm very happy to say we've caught. I know of at least 3 people in time um, that we've said, no, no, stop, don't, don't do that.
Yeah, if it seems too good to be true and the price sounds a little low, or something just doesn't seem, if anything seems fishy or sketchy, stop, ask questions.
Yeah, if they want to use anything other than PayPal, I would almost say stop, because Cash App has no recourse for you. PayPal, on the other hand, they're vultures. They'll go after some people.
Oh yeah.
So I'd also say, keep that in mind, and and things of that nature, because, like I said, it definitely almost put me on my heels. I mean, I mean, you can go back and you can find my post, I'm sure, on a couple of different ones where I said, "Hey, I'm out. Like, here's my story, and I'm sorry, and no one fall for it, and I'm done." And luckily, the community jumped in and said, "No, you're not. We're not going to let you be done. We're gonna make sure this car is finished for you." And I think that's one of the things. What's that?
I think that's how we kind of started talking back and forth, is you were wanting to kind of get out of it. And
Yeah, I mean, you and Scott and Mark and I mean, so many people reached out to me. I mean, I think I go back and I can remember about 3 days of constant messages of people going, "What's going on?" And I'm like, and I don't like texting. I just don't. I'm a phone call type. I'm old school. I'm 48, man, 47. So I'm like, here's my number, call me. And Nick, for instance, like Nick, he told me, he's like, don't give out. I'm not. He does not like talking on the phone at all. And he's like, okay, here's my number, call me. And I mean, I talked to, I think I don't know if I'm famous or infamous, but I talked to all of the real heavy hitters. You being one of them, in the hobby. And these guys really helped me out, and told me, okay, here's how we're gonna do this. And so through friends, family, the community, I kept my car, and I'm gonna keep it going, and it's gonna happen. And it adds to the vehicle's nostalgia,
yeah,
because now it's kind of a community car almost. I feel like some days I'm like, this isn't just mine now, this is a lot of people's cars. So yeah, reach out. If you're going to do this before you start buying stuff, reach out to us, to
Yeah.
somebody in the community. So many of us are willing to talk. And I think as we have people onto this podcast, because we have our first 3 done now, those people I'm sure will probably start volunteering to, yeah, talk to me too,
Yeah.
and that sort of thing.
The people in the community want to help. I mean, you know, just like with your situation with with vendors not coming through for you. I mean, my situation of oops, my car burnt down. I got, guys reaching out saying, hey, look, I got an extra car. Let me give you this car. People in the community want to help. I mean, yeah, there's some bad, but there's a lot more
A
good
lot,
than bad.
a lot more good than bad. Yeah. Which reminds me, um, I don't know what you're gonna what you're gonna do for an engine, but I might have some options for you.
So apparently the car that I'm getting replaced, the engine is good.
Okay. All
So
right.
they said the engine is good, and I don't know. So the engine that I had bought for my other car was sitting in the shop beside that car, and that it it got singed. I don't know how bad that motor has gotten. I mean, I'd probably go through it and clean it up, and it'd be fine. But from my understanding, the car that I'm getting has a decent engine. Gas tank is bad, but it just so happened that like 2 months ago, a guy posted on Facebook Marketplace, "Hey, I've got a third gen Camaro gas tank that is perfect. I just don't need it anymore. It's free." So I was like, "Ooh, free parts." So
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Well, my school, it's funny thing, school, we get cars donated to us through General Motors and places. And 15 years ago, they donated us a Suburban,
Nice.
with an L90. No, well, yeah, it's like 15. We've had it for 15 years, and it has like I think 2,000 miles on it. I forget how we got the car. It went through a couple of different schools.
Oh, wow.
But I think it's a 99 or 2,000. It has an L93 V8
So
with
5.3.
a, yep, with a 5-speed, four speed with overdrive transmission.
Oh, wow.
And guess what will all fit in my car?
Yep.
So we have to crush the body, but they don't care about what happens to the engine.
Like a train wreck car.
It's almost a train wreck car. Yeah, it's so insane. So we're getting rid of this. And when the teacher, he looked at me, he goes, this will fit your Trans Am. I was like, all right. So I'm gonna have an engine. I'm gonna be able to go through and redo it slowly, methodically, because it's gonna cost more money that I don't have. And
Oh, yeah.
then at some point, phase 2, then I'll drop a new engine and transmission in it. So I'll have 4 gears and overdrive.
Yeah, you're what? That's the 4L60.
I believe that's the 4L60, yeah, because I have the 700 RE currently, which is a 3-speed.
Um, Reach out when you get ready to do that. Reach out to Hawks Motorsports. That's what they specialize in is LS swap third gens.
Mhm.
They've got all the parts and pieces you need to make it easy and get everything to go in. Because I thought about doing the same thing. My dad has a 2002, 2003 with the same motor set up, and I just happened to be going through and swung it by Hawks. They're like, "Oh, it's not cheap. Here's all the." I had no idea. So,
Yeah.
talk to 'em.
Actually, Hawks, I've gotten parts from them as well. I talked to them originally. So another great vendor is Hawks Motorsports.
Oh
So,
yeah, if you need anything OE that might be used, they've got a slew of
mhm.
parts cars out in that field. I begged them to let me go out and just kind of walk around and look in the field. They're like, no, no, no.
Yeah. Yeah, they have some good stuff. Nice folks up there too. I've
Yeah,
talked to
what
them
we'll do is
many times. I got some of their parts as well. So yeah, definitely good stuff. So,
yeah.
all right, man. Well, I think that takes care of the third one for us. And anything else? Any other parting comments?
That's really just it. Watch what you buy and don't let your car catch on fire.
Very good. Definitely don't let any of your cars catch on
Or your
fire,
bikes.
or your bikes. And if you do, be sure to have your molecular bonded shell on it so you can drive through. I mean, you can't drive through hot lava. So if you had only got that molecular bonded shell on it, you'd be good to go.
Well, I think someone sprayed that concoction that Garth had and broke it down. So because it's definitely not handling lava or a small shop fire because it's nothing but a rust bucket now.
One day we're going to do an episode on plows, because
Yeah.
showed so many. But okay, well, sounds good. Greg, I'll talk to you again here soon, and we will go from there, sir.
Sounds good.